All right. Hey guys, welcome back to Internet Tomato. We hit 600 subscribers. How insane. It's so shocking. Even more shocking than seeing chess on this channel. That's right, chess. I'm just going to be explaining how to play chess, by the way. I there have been a surprising amount of people, especially in the early days, that requested I do a chess video. I don't exactly know why, but it is true. Potato Holmes, Dawn, there were a couple of others, and I feel bad for not remembering the names. I'm sorry. However, there have been a few people that have requested it. So I figured, you know what? We're at 600 subscribers. Let's just. I also couldn't get the second Laura video out this weekend, so I kind of wanted to do something quick anyway, like 15-ish minutes. Just record something, release it for you guys, just that there's content out there. But also, I did want to celebrate 600 subscribers. That is awesome. I feel like every 50 I should do something because it's just so amazing. I appreciate all of you guys that have stuck around, that have subscribed, that are here. I appreciate you guys so much. Also, I don't know if I mentioned it, but there is faint Tainted Grail music in the background. I have it playing. Also, I realized I should have just been doing that for the lore videos the whole time. Uh, Anyway, um, also, there was one question. Okay, first of all, we're going to go over how to play chess. The front line is the pawns, and it's a white versus black. White always goes first. The front line is the pawns. Pawns at the beginning can either go one or two spaces. After they move, they can only go one. So I'll show you that in a moment. And then these are the other pieces on the board: the rook, the knight, the bishop, the queen, the king, and then it kind of resets back to the bishop, the knight, and the rook. So only one piece can jump over the other pieces. So this knight can hop over. He moves in an L shape, two in one direction, one in the other. So he goes forward two, left one, or forward two, right one. He can do either of that. But first, let's just move. We're going to move this pawn up two. This is the most common move in chess at the beginning. So let's do so, see what she does. That's strange. So I want... Okay, I don't know if this is wise anymore. Maybe she's up to my tricks. But I wanted to move another pawn. I'm going to move this one up just one because I'm going to show you something. Well, just to explain that, as you can see, you can just move one. I don't know what this defense is called. Maybe she said it in chat. But anyways, she sometimes says things. Jan J? Yeah, that's her name. Anyway, so now as you can see, these pawns can just move one, or I can move one too. If I was to move this pawn forward, pawns can take each other diagonally. That's how they take them. It's not forward. So if they run into each other, which I kind of was expecting her to play pawn to e5, which you can see at the bottom, e5, then I couldn't have moved the pawn forward. That's what I was anticipating, but it didn't happen. But anyways, the reason why this is the most common move, as I explained, or was starting to explain, is that this allows you to get your bishop out to any of these places as a wide range, a wide scope. Same thing with the queen, so you can get them out. So almost no matter what your opponent does, it gives you some options to start going. It's very pleasant to start this way. This is a little bit odd. I'm going to do something also a little bit odd. We're going to throw in our bishop. Move the We're gonna move the bishop back. No, we're gonna take. Yes. Okay. So I don't want to take now because the queen is covering this this pawn. We're gonna go backwards. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Now we want to control the center. That is very important in chess. You want to be able to have that control. So let's do so. All right. I don't know exactly what the queen is planning. It's probably something very scary. Also, if I was to take a guess, she probably wants to do something on this diagonal, like to attack a piece, maybe attack my knight. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, anyways, I'm going to be moving the knight up forward because I want to show you something else if she lets me. Looks like she isn't letting me. You know what? I'll just let it go. So a thing that you can do in this game as well is you're able to castle. Now, I've shown you a couple of ways how the pieces move. I haven't shown you how the rook really moves. The queen can move horizontally, vertically, and diagonally. The rook can only move horizontally and vertically. Now, the queen can, or sorry, the king can only go to an adjacent space. That's the way that he works. However, if this area is open, you're allowed to do something called castling, where you hop over and you kind of trade places with the rook. It gets him out of trouble. It also lets you what's called activate the rook so that he's able to get into the game. So let's do that. That was a good move. Okay, so he is kicking my knight out of here. He doesn't like my knight being in this position. This is probably another bad move. Actually, if I go there, that's incredibly dangerous. Where do I don't want to go all the way back, because then that just undevelops my piece. We're going to go forward. That's also dangerous. What would be the best spot? Yeah, I don't like any of these places, actually. Because if I go here, he could just move the pawn up. Or, sorry, the queen up. Yeah, because he wouldn't do that. He could just move the queen up, and then my knight is pretty much a goner. There's not too many places I can go. Let's do it anyway. Maybe won't think about it. He didn't. Okay, cool. So he moved the queen. It looks like she is playing rather defensively. So we kind of want to do... We want to be able to take this pawn. If I go forward... And he takes... I can't really take back, can I? Yeah. I kind of want to take this pawn because this does give us a pretty nice position here. I think what we're going to do is we are going to be moving the king... Or sorry, the rook here. We want him in this file. Okay, he's preparing to be attacked, I see. Very interesting. Huh. Very interesting. I might do something a little bit peculiar just to see if he falls for it. So, this knight is in a pretty interesting position, because if he goes here, he can do something that's called a fork, which is threaten to take the king or the rook. The problem is that the queen is kind of in the way. Actually, no. If I take the pawn, that's not going to help me because then she's still blocking this space. Interesting. So I absolutely do want to take this pawn. Seems to be a pretty big concern. So how do I want to do this? Man, I haven't played this in so long. Okay, she is kind of trapping me a little bit. You know what? We're just going to go forward. We want to start kicking these pieces. Alright, let's keep going. Okay. What I'm kind of thinking is I could take this pawn. If I do so, the queen is going to have to move or essentially take my piece and then be taken. Let's do this. Let's see what he does. I'm kind of curious what the right move is. That couldn't have been the right move. That could not have been the right move. All right, let's take the queen. All right, that works. Let's take the knight. Okay. I gotta say, I don't think that the bot is doing her best. I think that she can do better. I think she can absolutely do better. I probably do want to move the knight out of the way. This isn't the best position because he would be well, you know what? Let's not do that. Okay, what are our options? Can't quite find the right position. If I... No, that's not a good spot either. Well, I guess I'll go here anyway. The reason why I'm going to go here is now I'm going to be threatening taking this piece and then possibly taking the rook, right? So he's forced to defend. Wasn't sure if he was going to do that or not because it's a bot, right? You never know with bots. So we're going to head over. Okay, we can just move out of here. He checked me, so I was forced to move. Okay. He's playing interestingly. I had a plan, but now he's just offering the bishop to me for free. So I think I shall take the bishop. Alright, he moved his rook out of the way. He was being targeted by the queen. So yeah. He is in a dangerous spot, but I am not confident enough to capitalize on it, probably. So, yeah. I could move in the bishop to this area, but you know what? Let's go for a check. Let's see what he's going to be doing. I also could take the bishop. Okay, interesting. I'm trying to see if I can check him in a good way, but I can't. Okay, let's check. Yeah, he's going to be forced to move back. Okay, so this rook is blocking the way. If I go here, this knight is just going to take, but it would put him in a very bad spot. Let's see, what do we want to do? I could move up. We kind of want to just get these people out of the way so that this rook can get out. I think I'm going to do that. I'm okay if he takes. It's not actually a big deal. Let's see. I just want him out of the way at this point. Let's go there. Interesting. Interesting indeed. We could move the pawn up. I think I'm kind of okay with that. Even if he takes, I can take. If he doesn't, that's okay as well. Gives us kind of a nice positioning so we have a good sight line here. Right, because if I really wanted to at this moment, well, yeah, because if I really wanted to, I could send the queen here, check him. He'd probably actually move the pawn now that I think about it. Can't take the bishop because if I do, the knight would take. I am a little bit tempted to threaten several of these pieces. I could go over here, I could attack the rook and see what he does, but we're actually going to do something a little bit slow. We're going to move this rook up. That's fine, we'll just take. He might take with the rook, which would be fun. Okay. So now we have what is called, the whole reason I was doing that was to do something that's called a battery. So a battery is when you, which there's a triple stack here, but a battery is whenever you have two rooks on the same file. That's what this is called, because it's just really hard to break. It's very hard to deal with typically. So yeah, we're going to take this piece. I just hope I'm not making too bad of a mistake here. That's fine. Perfectly fine. I don't know why he's doing this, but he is. So we're going to take the knight, and whenever you get a pawn to the opposite side, you get to promote. That's what this is called. So you can pick any of these pieces between queen, knight, king, rook, and bishop. So we're going to take the queen. He's going to take it. Yeah, he has to. He has no option. Yeah, so I can take. I think that it's about to be over, I believe. We're going to take this piece. Yeah, he's desperate. We're going to take the rook. Yeah, he is. And now we're about to get checkmate because he's going to have nowhere to go. The queen is covering these pieces right here, or these places right here. And also the rook is going to be attacking the king. The king can't move. Nobody can block. It's going to be over. I hope that I explained it all. I probably didn't do the best job at it, but great. Game review. Sure. Daily limited reach. Right, I did play a game ahead of time just because. Why am I at 1200? That makes no sense. I'm not a 1200 player. But yeah, so in on chess.com it does like you can have like review. Yeah, I can't click that. You have analysis, so it tells you how good you did. Also, it'll go over the plays and it'll tell you who's in the lead, who's not doing well. Right, as you can see, I made a bad move there. It tells you what should have been done. He should have taken with the pawn, which he did. So I was actually... Okay, when did things go well? Okay, so that was a really bad move, and that's when things started to go well. But anyways, I'm sure that I could analyze the game, and they save like the analysis and stuff. But anyways, I don't... Did we totally had some misses. We had to have... Usually it shows up, the misses. But apparently I had a great move of 11 best and 11 excellent. So that's actually pretty good, I think. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for participating and being here. I mean, it really is insane. The number of subscribers that we have. 600 is pretty crazy. It's like the more I mean, I've said it before, but my high school back in the day had about 400-ish people. And it was a high school and junior high, right? So between the two, it was about 400 people approximately. It wasn't that many. So I just keep on thinking that it's like it's more than my entire high school and junior high combined. I keep on thinking about that kind of stuff for like, you know, church or whatever, but different places I've been, whatever. I'm just like, man, all it would be as if all these people watched my streams or watched my lore videos or whatever. And it's so crazy that it's like with every 100, I'm like, man, it's even more people. It's even more people. Just so insane. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your support. I hope that you enjoyed this, even though it's chess and it's so different than Tainted Grail. But I hope that Dawn and Potato learned a little bit on how to play. I probably didn't do the best on explaining, but I kind of just showed you my thought process as I was playing the game. We did pretty well, apparently. I haven't played this in ages. I think I've said it before, but my ELO way back in the day, I always forget what it was. I think it was 1400. I don't remember. It's been quite a while. But I haven't played chess in forever. I do miss it a little bit, but man, it is so addictive to just play one more game, and then it's like, oh man, an hour passed. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Look out for a lore video tomorrow. Please consider liking and subscribing if you have yet to do so. I do want to just say thank you everybody for hanging out as you do with the streams and whatnot. Kid Childs, Masha, Clockwork, Dawn, Potato, all of you that hang out, Phantom now, who now drops in occasionally. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I love getting to know all of you. I really do appreciate you guys. You're all the best. We're like a tomato patch. We're a family. I appreciate you guys, and I can't wait to see how this is going to develop. We got like 100 subscribers in 1 month. That is crazy. That's fantastic. The dream is to be able to pump those numbers up a smidge so that I'm able to get to 1,000 by the time of at the beginning of December. That would be amazing for the channel. Absolutely incredible. So please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, that kind of stuff. Well, specifically of my main videos. This we're just chilling. But anyways, I'd really appreciate for those of you who don't typically hang out on streams, please come hang out. I love getting to know you guys. We have an awesome community. I always say that, but we really do. You guys are incredible. I couldn't have asked for a more incredible group of people to hang out with. And yeah, I'll be heading out. Hope you guys have a great day. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys later in the next one. So yeah, see you later. Bye-bye.